Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the morning hello. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day today. A fantastic morning. Let me tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited to get the week started, the week rolling. We got our coffee. We're all ready to go. I have a confession to make. Last episode, last Friday, I ate my breakfast and my coffee at the same time during the episode. And I have since realized that I just can't do that. I can't do that. And the main reason is because I can't talk and eat at the same time. I can talk and drink at the same time. That's not a problem. Where my problem comes is when I'm eating. I'm a slow eater. I do not eat fast at all. I get made fun of by my girlfriend a lot for not being able to eat quickly. So needless to say, today we're not rolling with the food. I already sat down, ate my breakfast. I actually had to charge my battery pack for my camera again because I'm too stupid to charge it over the weekend when I'm not even using it. Very dumb of me. So if the battery goes out during the stream, that's why. I charged it for about an hour. Charged my headphones because those were not charging either. Charged my mouse because that wasn't charging either. Basically, what I'm saying is I made a lot of mistakes about not charging anything over the weekend. So excuse that, please. But hey, we're here to have a new episode of The Morning Hello. Again, I have not fully decided what the name is going to be, branding, yada, yada, yada. But I am trying out something new today. One of the reasons why I have not utilized this temporary podcast format for any sort of additional content on YouTube or anything is because I've been doing this podcast while using the Stream Beats audio in the background. But the thing is when actually putting this together in podcast format, I don't know if I want that audio in the background. So today, I am trying out streaming and recording using separate audio tracks in OBS, which is going to allow me to, when I go into post, be able to edit my voice audio independently and have the background audio there as its own separate entity. So I'm really excited about that. But we have a lot to talk about today. I told you guys last week that one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to watch a show or watch a movie and then talk about it on the next episode. Well, one of the shows I'd been talking about wanting to do that with is WandaVision, the new show on Disney Plus by Marvel. I've been stoked to watch it, but I've been waiting on purpose because I wanted to do it right. And now I've done it right. I watched all 3 episodes same day. I wrote down notes. I took notes. I took down my ideas and my opinions and my questions and all the things. And I'm really excited to talk about it. So that's one thing we're going to be talking about today. Another thing is we have a trailer to watch, actually. We have Godzilla vs. Kong, the official trailer, which is getting an unbelievable amount of likes to dislikes and views. It came out yesterday. It's still number 1 on trending right now. 13.5 million views, 703,000 likes to 13,000 dislikes. That is a ratio if I've ever seen one. Basically, what we're getting at is I'm very intrigued. I loved Kong Skull Island as well as Godzilla. So we're going to be watching that and having our live reaction to that as well. Another thing that I wanted to talk about this morning that I seem to have forgotten about. I don't know where it went. Did you guys see the freaking NFL games yesterday? Tom Brady going to his 10th Super Bowl with first-year Buccaneers. The Buccaneers hadn't made it to the playoffs in 15 years or something like that before Tom Brady just went there literally yesterday. And then what happened in the freaking Bills-Chiefs game, dude? The Bills fell apart. If the Browns would have gotten one call go their way in that Chiefs-Browns game, the Browns could very well be going to the Super Bowl right now. Because the Bills did not show up against Kansas City. So that's the fact there. But anyways, let's go ahead. I guess before we start talking about WandaVision, I'm very curious about this Godzilla vs. Kong trailer. So let's go ahead and switch scenes here. Let's give this a shot. Don't start yet now. Hold on now. let's get over to this. We got to check out this trailer. What the heck is this, bro? That looks nuts. All right, I fully can confirm now that looked insane. I need a 360 hertz monitor, bro. I just finally, for the first time, upgraded to a 144 hertz monitor. If you jump to a 360, wow, that'd be something. like, let's be real here. That'd be freaking something. A 360 hertz monitor. How much would that cost you? Like $1,000 for anything decent? My goodness. Can you even get a 1440p or higher 360 hertz monitor? Shoot, bro. Shoot. That's nuts. Well, that freaking trailer was crazy. $1,200? Bro. Well, okay, here's my question. What would be the reasoning behind getting a $1,200 360 hertz monitor? What would be the reasoning? I guess. I'm just curious, because, I mean, I've rolled with a 60 hertz monitor for a long time. I mean, literally since, like, 2015, I've rolled with a 60 hertz monitor. And only, like, 2 weeks ago did I jump to a 144 hertz. Overwatch? How much improvement are you going to experience from jumping to a 360 hertz monitor? That's my question. Because that sounds like a lot. Like a lot. Listen, that Godzilla vs. Kong trailer officially has got me excited for that movie. I'm very, very interested in Godzilla vs. Kong now. That looked awesome. I'm very excited. 0%. So really what we're saying is you want the 360 hertz monitor, but there is no real need for a 360 hertz monitor. That's what we're getting at, right? But then again, there's really no need for a 3090 if you really think about it. There's no real need for a 3090. It's more along the lines of just screw it, I want it, you know? I have a 60 hertz. Well, I can tell you one thing. Jumping from a 60 hertz to 144 has been amazing. Because for school, at the beginning of I'm in college, so at the beginning of last semester, in August, I bought a Razer Blade 15, which had a 144 hertz display. But for my desktop computer, I've only had a 60 hertz display until about 2 weeks ago. And getting it, like using the laptop at 144 hertz was just such a big change for me. I was like, you know what? There's no way I can go back to not having 144 hertz. I have to get one for my desktop. There's just no way. I mean, I have two monitors. I've got a Samsung Odyssey G5 27-inch curved 1440p 144 hertz monitor in front of me. And then above, I just have this old 60 hertz, or it's like 50, maybe 50 hertz. I think it's like a 60 hertz HP monitor. It's not even, it's only 1600 by 900. It's not even 1080p. It's literally just a trash monitor for extra stuff at the top of the screen. All right, so here's the thing. I want to talk about WandaVision. Real bad. I played too much Overwatch, so I want a 360 hertz. I mean, I get it. I definitely get it. When you play a game a lot, and especially Overwatch is definitely one of those games that would benefit from a higher refresh rate for sure. There's no denying that. I mean, the fidelity of that game isn't exactly super high. You're more so looking for the frames in that game for sure. Let's talk about WandaVision. I took some notes. I want to talk about this because I've been very interested in the show, and I finally watched it, and I took notes on all 3 episodes. I have not, it's been a couple days since I watched it, but like I said, I took notes, so I do want to talk about it. Mystic, have you seen the new show on Disney Plus, WandaVision? Have you seen it at all? 3500 plus H. I'm confused. Is that your ranking? I'm confused. I haven't played Overwatch in a hot second, so I don't know. So here's the thing. WandaVision has surprised me significantly. It is not the show I was anticipating in the slightest. It is nothing like what I thought it was going to be. Like, full stop, nothing like what I thought it was going to be. The first episode literally is a black and white, like 1950s sitcom, if you even can describe them as sitcoms back then. I mean, it reminds me of the show I Love Lucy. If you guys are familiar with what that show is, it's a very old black and white American television show. the way it's set up very old time in the living room, like very old school, like gender roles and things like that. Wanda is the wife. She cooks the dinners. She, takes care of the house, all these things. And then you got Vision, who's going to work and providing and all those things. It is a very old-time, traditional style American TV. And it very much so confused me, but at the same time, it was also hilarious. The interactions between the two, the first time you see both of them on the show, Wanda and Vision, they literally are like, what did they say? They said like, my silly husband with, I don't know. They just like goof around about their powers, basically. And like, that's the first interactions that you see. And it's just very interesting to me. It's very, very interesting to me. But Vision is hilarious. Vision was so fun. Like, he's a doofus. In the movies, right? In Avengers Age of Ultron, when we first really meet Vision, and every movie after that includes Vision, he's this unbelievable genius. Like he's just got the knowledge. He's literally a supercomputer in a physical humanoid form. That's what he is. He is the physical embodiment of a supercomputer. That's what he is. He's not a person. He's a supercomputer that has developed human emotion and interaction. That's what he is. But in this show, he's a ditz. Like, he's just a moron. Like, he's super funny. Like, and they're trying, I guess the whole point so far of the show is that they're trying to fit in to this small town, and especially back in this time period, like a small town, like everyone knows each other. You contribute to the town just as everybody else does. Everybody knows each other. Like, so it's kind of hard to hide stuff, but they're trying to hide the fact that they have these powers. Like, Vision can go through things. He can literally put things through himself. Like, that's who he is, or he can disguise his appearance. And Wanda, obviously, she's got the telekinesis and ability to, move things with her mind and stuff. They're trying to hide that while also living in this small town. They're trying to fit in, and it's very peculiar because they do not fit in at all, but they somehow are able to stumble their way through it. I don't know. Now, my question, though, because at the end of the episode was very telling. It showed that they were it's like within this TV show, WandaVision, within the show is the show WandaVision, and they're being viewed on an old screen. It's like at the very end of the episode, they like pan out, or they zoom out, and they come and they show a TV screen showing the WandaVision episode ending, but from a different perspective. So then I was like, whoa, hold on a second. What? Like, what's going on here? So it seems like Vision and Wanda are in a show within this show. I don't quite understand. It seems like they are in like a controlled environment or a simulation or something. I have no idea. It's really, really confusing me. And they continue to answer a couple more questions as you move on to the next two episodes, but at the beginning, it's just like, whoa, hold on a second, because I was not anticipating the old style TV show, and then at the end of the episode, it like hits a little bit more of like the realistic, I guess realistic is a weird term to use here, but like more of what you're used to with the Avengers and stuff, where it goes full color, and then it zooms out and it shows that you were just watching a TV show. That raised a lot of questions for me, and I didn't quite understand what was going on. But I can tell you one thing. My intrigue levels during this episode were at a maximum. I was very intrigued, very interested at all times during this episode. There was no mistaking that. I was completely captivated because everything was so weird. Like I said this so many times when watching it with my roommate. I was like, this show is so weird. I don't know what I'm watching, but I couldn't stop watching it because it was so, it gripped me. So if I were to give a rating to episode 1 of WandaVision, I would give it a 10 out of 10. The direction was fantastic. The jokes were funny. The writing was really well done. And whatever the storyline is so far has me gripped. Whether it makes sense or not, it has me gripped. So with that said, I would give it a 10 out of 10. 3,500 plus hours on Overwatch? Bro, I've put probably about 1,500 hours into Destiny, so I kind of get it, but that's still like double my hours. That's crazy, dude. That's a lot of hours. That's a lot of dedication, for sure. All right, let's jump into WandaVision Episode 2 now. So WandaVision Episode 2 kind of focused on, and just as I previously mentioned, they're living in this small town called Westview. And this small town, you know, as any old-time small town, everybody knows each other, everyone contributes to the community, everyone does everything for the town. Like, it's just how it works. So this episode is focused on the town's talent show. And in this episode, we get to see even more of that comedy and even more of that hilarious nature of Vision that we're seeing from this show that we didn't really get to see in the movies. This is definitely a very interesting take on Vision. And that's why I'm so intrigued in what is going to be happening with the storyline, because this is not the Wanda and Vision that I was expecting in the slightest. This is very new to me. So this episode, like I said, very much so focused on the talent show, and Wanda and Vision have a what do you call it? A skit or something that they're doing. They're doing a magic show at the talent show, right? But one thing that I noticed in this episode, Dark Devil, drop the Dark Devil. Good morning. How are we doing today, Dark Devil? Or afternoon, evening, whatever it is for you. Welcome to the morning hello. Thank you for stopping by. We're just talking about, I went ahead and this weekend I watched WandaVision. So we're just talking about the episodes. Good afternoon. How are you? I'm doing fantastic. Having a great morning. How are you today, man? We're on episode 2 of WandaVision right now. So one thing I noticed in this episode is that there's way more going on in this show than initially anticipated. You're okay? Well, it's good that you're not bad. That's what I always like to look at it. It's better to be okay than bad. Something that really caught me off guard in this episode is Wanda was hanging out with her neighbor, and I forget the neighbor's name, but she was hanging out with her neighbor at this pre-talent show meeting where all the ladies in the neighborhood were kind of discussing, you know, what was going to be done, who was going to do what for this talent show. They're kind of, you know, contributing ideas and things like that. But there's this one lady that was at the head of all of it, and she's like the lady of the town. You know, everyone wants to be like her. Everyone wants to be on her good side. You know, she's like stuck up and, you know, rude and stuff like that. Just like that kind of lady. But when they were talking, this talent show was being done for the kids, you know, for the school, basically. It's a fundraiser for the school. And one thing that really struck me is that when they were speaking about everything and they kind of figured everything out, they kind of like did a toast, and everybody all at once said, "For the children." And they just said it in such a way that to me seemed like a cult. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could explain it to you. You guys have to watch it for yourself, but the way that they all said it in unison, and Wanda didn't say it because she didn't know she was supposed to say it, but everyone else around her said it at the same time, "For the children." And it just sounded so robotic, so cult-like. It really caught me off guard, and it made me feel a little bit uneasy. There's a lot of things on top of that, though, that happened in this episode. One thing that I'm starting to see in these episodes is Hydra, the organization from The Winter Soldier. If you guys are familiar with Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Hydra has been showing up a couple of times in this show so far. And this time in these episodes, there's been like commercials within the episode, like old-time commercials. And this one commercial was for a watch called a Strucker watch, but it was made from Hydra. You saw the logo and the name Hydra on the watch. And I just find that very interesting because one thing I'm trying to understand is what timeline we're looking at for this show. I can't tell if it's before Avengers or after Avengers because Vision and Wanda are together, but Vision is also alive, which he is not at the end of Avengers Endgame. So I don't understand what's going on, like if they're in an alternate universe, alternate timeline. I don't know what's going on with this. That's something that I think they're going to be explaining as time goes on, but I haven't figured it out yet. There's a lot of questions. You'll notice as I speak on this, I have a lot of questions and I'm very confused about what's happening. You have 199 followers? Mystic, I actually think you are the 200th follower. I believe if you refresh the page, it will probably show you 200 followers. So I believe that you are actually the 200th follow. Another thing that kept happening in this episode is the radio. There'd be radios, back in this time period, radios were sort of the big thing. And Wanda, she kept being by radios and she would hear over the radio distortion and her name being called, Wanda, coming through the radio. And she doesn't know why, and it's not being explained as to who it is. I can't tell who the voice is. I don't know who's making the sound or who's saying the words, but it is happening. And if it's freaking Wanda out, and we don't quite know what's going on with that yet. So my question there is, who is saying Wanda and why are they saying Wanda? Now, another thing that I did want to mention is that Paul Bettany, which is the actor for Vision, in this episode, he truly showed how hilarious he can be. Because like I've mentioned before, Vision is not a human being. He is the physical embodiment of a supercomputer. So therefore, he doesn't eat food. He doesn't eat, he doesn't drink, that kind of stuff he doesn't do. But given that he's trying to fit in this town and he can change his appearance to look like an actual man, he's meeting with the group of guys that are the neighborhood watch, and they offer him a piece of gum, and he accidentally swallows the gum. And what happens from accidentally swallowing the gum? Okay, let's not do that, my friend. We are not. How do I? Hold on a second. How do I get rid of that? How do I do that? Hold on a second. I don't even know how to work this. Ah, there we go. Boop. Let's not do that, okay? Thank you, though. Let's not do that. So he swallows a piece of gum. And in the process of him swallowing this gum, again, he's not supposed to eat anything. So this gum, and they show like a cartoon version of this, but the gum basically goes down into his system and it starts to really slow his gears. It gets involved in his computing power and it slows him down. So he just starts acting unbelievably stupid. As if he wasn't acting funny in the first place. Now he's acting just straight up dumb. He doesn't know how to say words. He's mixing words together. He's saying things backwards and forwards. He's moving around incoherently. He doesn't know how to talk or move or anything. And he's supposed to be leading this talent show as the magician. And he has no idea what he's doing. So that is hilarious. And I feel like Paul Bettany has done a phenomenal job of providing some great comedic relief to this show, really, so far. Now, again, this show seems like it's taking a bit of a comedic route at the beginning. I feel like it's starting to morph more into a realistic show, a more serious show. But at the beginning, it's very funny and very comedic. And like I said, Paul Bettany does an amazing job of that so far. Now, the thing that really got me with this episode is once again, right at the end. That's something that they're showing with these episodes, is that they're really trying to give you these cliffhangers of intrigue to get you ready for the next episode. The ending part of this episode brought so many more, as if I didn't have enough questions in the first place, brought me so many more questions. Because this time, at the end, Vision and Wanda, they heard noise outside their house, and this happened at the beginning of the episode, and it freaked them out and stuff. So now, they went out of the house in the middle of the night to see what the sound was. They didn't find what the sound was, but what they did find is there's a manhole in the middle of the road right outside their house, and this person comes out of the manhole, and it looks like he's wearing like an exterminator outfit, like a beehive kind of person. The big bubble helmet sort of thing above their face, or the big white suit. They get out of there, and then Wanda says no. And then all of a sudden, the episode reverses, goes back, and then they don't experience that. So that's why I keep asking this question about, are they in some form of controlled environment? Are they in some form of simulation? What is going on? Because she just simply said no, she didn't want to be a part of that. And then they backed up, and then that didn't even happen. So I don't quite understand what's going on here. Like, they're trying to hide and fit in with the community so that they're not caught being these super people. But then it seems like there's something is seeping into this world or something. But she's able to back away from it. I don't understand what's happening with that one. But again, I'm going to give this episode a 10 out of 10. I have zero complaints with this episode. It was very funny. The storytelling was great. The writing was great. The actual direction, using the shots and the coloring and everything, really, really great with this episode. I really, really enjoyed it. Wonderful episode. And it really set things up for the next episode once again, which was episode 3, which gave me more questions. Again, did you know that Wanda and Vision had twins? As in children? Vision, a non-human, was somehow able to have twins with Wanda. Actual children, human children, they've had twins. And I don't quite understand how that happens, why that happens, or anything. And it still begs me more questions in terms of what timeline they're involved in here. Are they in some sort of alternate universe, a controlled environment, simulation, different timeline? What is going on? Because in no place in the movies was it ever talked about Wanda and Vision having kids. So I have no idea what's going on with this. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because this episode is called Now in Color, I believe is what it's called. And it starts off with, instead of being the 50s, 4:9 aspect, or was it 4:3 aspect ratio, black and white, now we're in the full 16:9 aspect ratio, full color. J. Palma, drop the J. Palma. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever it may be for you, Palma, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. Right now we're discussing WandaVision episode 3. I finally went ahead and watched the episodes. So now I took notes and we're discussing it. And I'm giving my thoughts, episode by episode. Now we've made it to episode 3. So now we're in color with this episode. And we've also jumped somehow. I don't understand I don't get this show. Because now this show is set in like the 70s. We're no longer in the 50s. Now we're like in the 70s. Everyone's got like afros and they're wearing the 70s get up and the 70s style for the home and everything. It's in the language. Now we're somehow in the 70s. And I don't understand because we went from the 50s last episode to now we're in the 70s this episode. I don't understand what's going on. And from what I understand, it's only a day later, so I don't get it. But we're in the 70s. And then they also have a new house. It appears to be a new house. It is not set up the same way as the previous house. Or it's been updated, I'm not sure, but it's, now we're in color, but we also have a different looking house. And again, Wanda is pregnant. And she's only been pregnant for like a day. And the doctor tells her that she's like 2 months pregnant at the beginning of the episode. But again, I don't know how that even happened in the first place, but somehow she's like 2 months pregnant within the same day. She's escalating very fast. And then by midway through the episode, she has her kid. She literally exponentially goes through the pregnancy process in one day, from not being pregnant to having her child and having twins within half an episode. I don't understand what is happening with this. I really don't get it. I don't understand. It's really driving me nuts trying to figure this out. But something very interesting happens in this episode where now we kind of see some weirdness going on. So again, I've said that these two, Wanda and Vision, are trying to fit in this small town. They're trying to disguise themselves so that nobody catches the fact that they're not actually normal humans. So there's something different about them. They're trying to hide that. And in this episode, we start to see some uneasiness from the rest of the community. Wanda's neighbor, both their neighbors, Vision sees them outside and they're just acting weird. They're just acting very fake, very weird, and uneasy. And Vision sort of like comes up to them and asks them what's going on. And they almost tell him. They asked if, seems like Wanda's new like best friend, they ask if she is in the house with Wanda as she's having the child. And Vision says yes. And they start to say something as to giving you reason to not trust her, and then they decide to stop, and then they don't say anything, and then they go back to being fake. So that's why I keep asking myself, like, is this some sort of controlled environment or simulation? Because they don't seem real. They seem very fake, or like they are themselves hiding something. Because they were about to say that we are all here, and then they stop. So my roommate was thinking that perhaps they were going to say that everybody in this town are like super people, like they all have some form of power, and they're just all hiding it, which would be interesting. But they never got to that. So I don't know. So she has twins, and then she finds out that the lady that is in there with her, Wanda finds out that her quote-unquote best friend at this time is acting very weird and says something she shouldn't, and Wanda realizes that something is wrong, something is off. So she full-on sends that woman out of the town. And then this is where things get really interesting. She uses her telekinesis and sends her friend out of the town. And when she gets sent out of the town, she goes through this like force field that's surrounding Westview, the town that they're in. There's like this aura surrounding the town, and she gets sent out of it, and there's a visual representation of her being ejected out of it, and she lands on the ground, and then some form of law enforcement, police force, intelligence agency surrounds her. I'm talking surrounds her. SUVs, like everything. Lights everywhere. Military, to some extent, surrounds this woman. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is. All I can figure from this so far is that Westview is not real. And I don't know why Wanda and Vision are there. And I don't know if they understand what's going on either. I have a strong feeling that everybody in this town is not real. They are fake to some extent. And this entire town is set up by, let's say Hydra. Let's just say Hydra, for instance. Let's say that Hydra has set up this simulated town, and Wanda and Vision have somehow gotten involved there, and they assume that where they are is safe and hidden from the rest of the world. But that's not actually the case, because it actually seems like they are about to be found out, or they have been found out, and they're in danger. I don't know where this is going. All I know is that next episode, we are probably going to be jumping into the thick of things. Because as I said, the first 2 episodes were all about the comedy, and they're like setting the tone for the show, kind of setting things up for the storyline. Then this episode was like the gap, the bridging the gap between the beginning storyline of comedy into the drama, serious tone that's going to be happening most likely in episode 4 and beyond. Now, I don't know how many episodes are per season for the show. My assumption would be 8, because that's what they did with The Mandalorian. That's my assumption, but I don't know. But I really feel like episode 4, we're going to be getting a deep dive into the nitty-gritty about this season. And we're going to be getting some answers as to what is going on. Like, are they in some form of simulation? Are they in a controlled environment? Is this on purpose? I have no idea. I don't know. It's driving me insane trying to figure it out. The only thing I can tell you is that I am very much so locked into the show. I'm very, very interested. I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10 as well. And I know it probably sounds like a broken record player, and you're like, oh, there's no way they're all 10s. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I loved this episode. All 3 episodes I have absolutely loved. I have had 0 issues with the episodes. The storyline has me gripped. And to be honest with you, that's the biggest thing for me, is having a show grip me like this. That's one reason why I like The Mandalorian so much. It grips me every episode. And with this show, it has made me decide to go back and watch Captain America: The Winter Soldier and Civil War last night, which I haven't watched those movies in quite some time. So this show has gripped me, and it has made me more interested in the Avengers universe again, which I think is probably the whole purpose of the show, to get people still in the mode of the Avengers. You know, there are no new movies for the Avengers at the moment. So this is a way of continuing to keep the Avengers in people's minds, if that makes sense, from Disney and Marvel. I have 0 complaints with this episode. I have 0 complaints with the previous 2 episodes. So far, this series is a 10 out of 10 for me. This season is a 10 out of 10 for me so far. We're going to see how that progresses. I believe new episodes come out every Thursday evening. So I'm going to be checking that out this weekend. So we'll probably have a discussion about the next episode Friday morning. But I'm loving it so far. I am absolutely loving it. If you guys have any thoughts or opinions on WandaVision, if you have seen it so far, tweet at me. Twitter.com/Buckeye. Sorry, no, that's not what it is. Twitter.com/BuckeyeGG or at BuckeyeGG on Twitter. Tweet at me or let me know in the live comment section on Twitch. I'd love to hear what you guys are saying about it. If you haven't watched WandaVision and you can, please watch it. Please watch it. It is a joy of a show to watch so far. And it is it's one of those shows that I think is going to be really fun for having conversations with people because nobody knows what's happening so far. So you guys can, just have a conversation and talk about it and say like, well, this is what I think. This is what I think. I love that kind of stuff. It's got me super excited. Very, very excited. So that's what I did this weekend. I watched WandaVision, and these are my thoughts on it. I'm super, super excited for episode 4 to be coming out this weekend. We're definitely going to be checking it out and talking about it then. So if you guys are interested, hit the follow button. Check out the podcast. Check out the stream. We're definitely going to be talking about this more as time goes on. That's going to go ahead and end it for this morning's episode of The Morning Hello. Again, I haven't confirmed the name for this podcast. I haven't confirmed how this podcast is going to be formatted, but I can tell you one thing, I'm getting in the groove of things and I'm figuring it out. So hopefully here soon we'll have a confirmation for everything. So thank you guys for listening today. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by, interacting in the chat, listening to me ramble about WandaVision. I appreciate it. Hopefully I will see you guys again tomorrow morning for the next installment of The Morning Hello. But until then, I will see you in the next one. Bye.